This is the High Noon Show with Robin Unger, Jeremiah Armstrong, and myself, hosting the show, Ken Hollywood Himes, the entertainment guy that's not shy. And we got a really good show for you today. In the studio right in front of me is Melo.
Hello.
Hello, Melo.
Melo, hello.
Hello. And you know what we really like is the fact that you have created wonderful cannabis art and native art through cannabis. So could you tell us more about that, please?
Geez, I don't even know where to start on that. I create amazing cannabis jewelry using cannabis.
As of 3 years ago, you started.
Yeah. It all started, my father was my favorite stoner, and when he passed away, I was lucky enough to get the roach from his wake and bake that morning.
Okay, like you mean a stoner, like a guy gets stoned, or a guy who works at Stones?
A guy that gets stoned.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I've had this roach for a while. I've collected this roach for a couple of years and always wanted to keep it, and started playing with some resin, and I had been doing abstract art. I'd hosted an event, realized that a lot of my current customers were cannabis patients and cannabis users.
Okay.
And I thought, well, maybe I can do something with this. So I tried with the cannabis buds and started dipping the roaches, and I'm actually working on building a Forever Roach campaign. So
Okay.
want to build Forever Roaches, and so I want to smoke some joints with some pretty epic people, and then I want to preserve the roaches and start a fundraiser with that and
interesting.
see where we can go.
So like Snoop Dogg, you smoke a big fatty with him, get so stoned you can't feel your feet,
Wouldn't that be great?
and then you take that, probably what we would call a half cannon,
Yeah.
right? And then you take that and you preserve it, make it into jewelry, so you're basically walking around. I think it's really cool. I think,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So I've actually started with some friends that I've met in the industry. So I am currently holding on to a joint that I was lucky enough to smoke with Remo. And I have a Steve D'Angelo roach that I'm preserving.
I'm sorry, who?
Steve D'Angelo.
Who is?
Steve D'Angelo is a cannabis activist.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's based out of the States
Okay.
currently, but he does a lot of work. He's Indigenous as well, so he does a lot of work with the Indigenous and cannabis rights.
And the Indigenous people, you have a big heart for that.
I sure do.
Why is that?
I sure do. I work closely with Tyendinaga Mohawk Territory. If you're not familiar with Mohawk Territory. They basically have built a cannabis oasis for us all to enjoy. So they have I think it was about 6 years ago now, a couple of Indigenous dispensaries opened, as they believe it is their sovereign right to dispense medicine. One of their favorite lines actually is that they had medicine before we even had doctors. So yeah, a couple of shops opened up. They formed the Kanatake Cannabis Association and served a letter to their local law enforcement association, stating that they didn't adhere to their rules and their laws, and that it was their sovereign right to dispense medicine.
This is Ontario?
Yes, so it's located in Ontario. It is sovereign land, so technically it's not part of Canada. Yeah, it is. It's just between Toronto and Kingston, actually.
Gotcha.
Yeah, right off of the 401. A lot of people know it for the Speedway in Shannonville. They have a Shannonville Speedway there.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what brought you to the West Coast?
I came out for some experience. I came out to play. I came out to meet new people, meet new friends, have a hand at Bong City, and see where I could go. I came out for some inspiration. Was my main drive.
Excellent. What is Bong City?
Bong City is a local bong shop here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it true you can spend thousands of dollars on a water pipe or a bong?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Are they worth the money?
Absolutely.
Because what happens with these?
They're phenomenal. First of all, they're a piece of work. I have a lot of friends that work in the glass art industry and create glass themselves. I personally am excited to get back to my rig in Ontario. I have a $1,600 recycler made by Ika Glass. I like to support support glass. It's a form of art. Again, kind of with what I have done in the art industry, in the cannabis industry, I've tried to incorporate my cannabis and art and networking
And a healthy choice too, because you just said glass as opposed
Correct.
to wood or aluminum or rubber. I've seen rubber pipes. Is there a problem with those materials? I'm sure if Kit Warren was here right now, he'd give us an education on that.
I'm absolutely sure there is. I can't speak for facts on that, but I do prefer the taste of glass. I find glass is the most pure. I've tried to use silicone bongs in past and such, and I just don't like the taste of my flower then.
And you've been smoking for how long?
A long time.
Right?
Yeah, I've been smoking cannabis since probably 13, 14 years old.
When you create art, are you creating it after being infused with cannabis, or do you like to do it straight up? Or
Absolutely. I'm actually partial to indica.
Yes.
And I call it my creative lock. It's not the couch lock. It allows me to lock into one creative idea at a time and follow through with it.
Isn't it interesting that people, you think it's indica's the go to sleep stuff, and for some people it totally wakes
No.
them up and inspires.
Yeah,
and
it's-
the sativa actually puts them to sleep, which is crazy monkey ass backwards.
I find a lot of sativas actually give me anxiety.
Okay.
I think fast. I like to work fast, and I don't find the sativa helps me. I find that the indica can actually, like I said, slow it down, can get me to focus on one thought at a time.
And sativa is
follow
what
through
they're
it.
trying to sell us. The big LPs and stuff is that it's actually our energy daytime cannabis, which is not always true.
No.
The medicine always changes, doesn't it? So you've got some great products there, and our cameraman, Jeremiah Armstrong, best in the biz, he's actually taken a few. Could you show us a few things, a few of the items inside your little box of goodies there, please?
Sure, I can.
So we can understand better what you do.
Sure can. So I started sinking resin, full cannabis buds in epoxy resin. So it renders it denatured. It's non-consumable. And it's an expression of art and a form of education. One of the things I find the best with my artwork and wearing these nugs and the jewelry is the amount of people that are drawn to them. Often they think that they are gemstones. So a lot of times I've been stopped and I have people say, oh, that's a very beautiful gemstone. A lot of times it's been senior women. And I say, oh, it's actually not a gemstone, it's actually cannabis. And they look at me like I have three heads because they don't know what cannabis is. I then explain to them that it's marijuana. And we then have a full, healthy conversation about marijuana. It opens the door for me to explain that I have fully used cannabis and creativity to help heal
Yes.
in the past 4 years. And I honestly, to date, have never had a negative experience with it yet. So,
Are you able to speak about that negative thing you had to overcome, or is that a little too private for?
no.
Thank you.
So it actually kind of ties back into my Indigenous connections. I started working in the industry, I started doing the jewelry, working with High Canada Magazine, and I suffer from social anxiety. I struggle, I love people, but sometimes I struggle with just walking up to someone and saying hi. So I started my jewelry line, and I actually started gifting people in the industry because I felt that gave me a doorway. It gave me an opening to speak to people. So I could gift this to someone, I could represent the magazine, I could show that I was media, that I was interested in the stories, and not show that I suffered from social anxiety. So that was a great way to get that out. Then I started working with the Indigenous Cannabis Cup. We're hosting our third year now. I had been diagnosed with lupus. I had some seizures about 4 years back. My quality of life wasn't the best. I started working with the Indigenous. I started consuming and ingesting more cannabis. I found myself being more creative, making more projects, doing more things. And when it was time to run the event, it turned out to be a 4-day event, and I got nervous because I thought, how am I going to run this 4-day event with an autoimmune disease? What if someone sees me sick? What if something happens? I'm going to be weak. People are going to see me as weak. And I went, you know what? My entire life, everything that has ever happened, every problem, every health ailment, anything's always because I smoke pot, right? It's because my head's in that green cloud that's been what I'd heard from everyone in
The
my
naysayers.
life. The
And
naysayers.
scientists
all the
too, or
negative.
just
no,
negative people?
No, just people with opinions.
Right. The people that drink a bottle of whiskey every night.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the Xanax and wine mommies. A lot of people put me down for being
Shame.
a cannabis
Shame.
mom. It was a shame. Yes, it was a drug, and how can you use it? I have family members that I personally feel I haven't had a close relationship with because I do consume cannabis medicinally. And cannabis is a big part of my life. But when it hit the event, when it came time for that, I thought, you know what? Everyone's blamed cannabis my entire life. So I'm just going to work as hard as I can, and I'm going to consume. And I'm going to consume as much as I can. And if anything happens, maybe I can blame the weed. And I ran for 4 days. I hosted an event. We had 50 plus vendors, and we dealt with workshops, organizers. I got to meet Bob Marley's daughter, Denisha Prendergrass. She came for a wonderful speech and seminar. And that's when I realized that, wait a minute, my life's changing.
Excellent.
My life's absolutely changing, and that's now through my cannabis, through my education, through my publications, and through my work with the Indigenous. I've actually managed to turn all of those naysayers around. I have family members that come to me on a regular basis for cannabis education, cannabis products, cannabis information. My aunt just came back from Florida and said she purchased a hat for me, and it just perfect. It just screamed my name, she said. And of course, when she handed it to me, I knew why, because it was covered in bright sequins and colors and a giant marijuana leaf right on the front. So then I explained to her it was a cannabis leaf, and we had this whole conversation, and I was able to educate her as well. So that's why I've continued making my jewelry and making my art. And
Excellent. Thank you very much for sharing that. And the Indigenous Cannabis Cup takes place where?
so it's in Tyendinaga, so Mohawk territory, which is located just between Toronto and Kingston, just off of the 401.
And how many people might show up for this event?
I'm expecting thousands for this one. We've
Okay.
had thousands in past. It has
Right.
been a smaller event. Again, it's a new event, just in the couple of years building up to it.
Do you sell booze there?
No,
No
it
booze
is
at
an
all.
absolute alcohol and drug-free event.
So no problems.
No problems. We hosted a 4-day event.
Because Ontario's a very conservative climate.
We've had honestly, I have literally caught friends and clients speaking about the event, and I say caught because they don't know that I'm there. And still, the vibe that we were able to create, the way we were able to work together, celebrating the sovereignty, was phenomenal. So,
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So do you have any plans for the West Coast?
I'm actually headed back to Ontario.
For how long?
So, undetermined. I've traveled across Canada now, in the cannabis community, in the cannabis industry, and I'm not sure where I'm going to go next.
Right.
I know that I'm going back to work in Tyendinaga to help with the Indigenous, to stand behind my brothers and sisters on the line, and to help host this event. And I've got some big jewelry plans and some big art collabs coming up. So hopefully.
Well, we're going to miss you, and it's too bad that we don't have our own Indigenous Cannabis Cup here.
Well, that
And what's
might
with
just
that?
be something we can work on, because that's something that I would actually look to try and take to some other reservations and see if that's something that, with my organization and with the clients and contacts that I've built up, that maybe that's something that we can do to help.
And who are some of the artists that inspired you over time, or people that inspired you to keep going with your dream of making this wonderful jewelry?
Tons of people. So I've actually started building what I like to call the Melo Army, kind of like the Beatles Army. I want to go
Kiss Army.
right? I want to go forth, and I want to spread passion and love for the cannabis plant and for art, and for the power behind the healing powers of the creativity and the cannabis mixed together. So it's something that I really want to work forward with, and tons of people have actually been my inspiration building up to this, but I actually have a gentleman back home in Ontario, Roger Beck, actually was the gentleman that did my character cartoon here. And I have to say, he'll blush when he sees this, but he literally has drawn the cannabis community together. And I've consumed cannabis, I've worked with people, but it wasn't until I started working in this industry with these people, seeing the healing stories, seeing the passion behind the plant, the passion behind the people, the craft growers, the people breaking rules and, making changes. And that's really what has opened up my eyes, and really helped me heal personally. So,
how's the lupus?
My blood work came back clear.
Excellent.
Yeah,
So you understand Rick Simpson and all that stuff,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I'd like to hear a little bit more about your relationship with cannabis. So your relationship with cannabis.
I love it.
You love it. Is it? Tell us about the cannabis we're about to smoke in your mustache pipe. Tell us about what it's going to taste like, what it's going to provide us. Give the viewers out there who don't regularly consume cannabis, how does this medicine working on us as we pass it around and share this conversation?
I like to say that cannabis can help bring peace and harmony within your own body. I've taken the registered massage therapy program. I've studied in anatomy and physiology. I've studied the cannabinoids receptors. And basically, I feel that cannabis helps to promote homeostasis. I don't feel that. It's been proven, but it helps to promote homeostasis. It can help with pain relief. It can help with my vertigo. It's helped with my seizure symptoms. It's helped with my nausea. It's helped with a bunch of things. And on a regular, I feel that it provides peace and harmony within my body. And it brings me back to myself. It brings me back to my core, to what I'm supposed to be and the best that I'm supposed to be. And for people that are starting out, for people that meet someone like me and see that I do consume all day, every day, cannabis is very much a part of my life. It's not the same. I don't find the head high that people get when you first consume cannabis or first try cannabis. That's not why I consume cannabis. I consume cannabis for, again, that peace of mind, that feeling. I don't smoke cannabis to escape reality. I smoke cannabis to assess reality.
Beautiful. To consume mindfully.
Right.
So tell us about strain. I mean, what is your strain, sort of historically, and what are you loving right now?
Actually, this is a lovely strain that I was gifted here, and this is the beautiful pink Kush.
Misty Mountain Pink Kush.
Misty Mountain.
From the misty side of the mountain out by Souk, where the trees grow tall and they wave in the breeze. And in those few moments of sweet sunshine, those plants, they reach towards the sky. They spread their arms wide and they chant. Yeah, and they bless.
And they bless.
Oh, it's so mystical, man. I'm going to cry.
Don't break down on me now, Kenny. A little bit of like stumble there at the end, but the words, they had intent.
Absolutely.
So, Robin Unger is on the technical controls right now. Great friend of ours, great friend of mine, just a really great team member. Do you have anything you'd like to ask about cannabis and her relationship, or anything to share? I'd like to hear your voice.
Well, let me ask you, Mel, how you got involved in the Indigenous Cannabis Cup over there. You said you've I guess, how did that come about, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, when I started with High Canada magazine, I started in the media. I started networking. That when I met the editor of High Canada, actually was the first question I'd asked him. Have you heard about Tyendinaga? Do you know about the magic that's going on there? And they hadn't. So that's when I felt that it was my job to help take a cannabis publication to cannabis shops and help network the best that I could. And I ended up networking and meeting Jamie Kunkel, who is the organizer and host in the Indigenous Cup, and he kind of saw my connections and my networking, and it kind of went from there. So.
Okay.
There's some really angry guy just walked past, swearing at himself.
He needs some of this.
Yeah, the Misty Mountain Pink Kush.
Good Lord, if our jails would be full. And
outside the door.
It's actually one of the pieces that I created.
what the heck? Is that a penis?
It's one of those things that Robin Unger likes.
So that is absolutely.
Don't show Robin Unger
I
that.
only like my own.
penis.
Right?
Fat fond of it.
There it is.
Fond of
the
fondling.
glass penis.
And I often say, do you know someone who's a dick?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
don't smoke cannabis.
How's
So-
that
You
work?
need the cannabis.
How's it work?
cannabis
Can you put it up
penis.
to your lips and show us?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Really show you how it would work. And it works as a pin.
Ah, there you go.
So, yeah, you can wear it to show your pride. So,
Oh, right, my pride.
yes. Would
All
you
right,
like
do you have a vagina then? Like a vagina?
Cannabis
No, I
vagina.
don't have one. Maybe
Well,
I'll
hey,
say
what about the
one.
ladies
Yes,
out there?
please. Yes, please.
I'm actually waiting on the mold to come in the mail.
The mold.
Yeah.
Well, you know when Jimi Hendrix was back in the day, the women would actually take his junk and actually make molds out of it and then sell it and trade it.
I think you're referring to the plaster caster, Ken.
I guess so.
I'm
Yeah. So
Pretty sure I didn't mold this.
no, that,
Oh, that's terrible. That's
I
terrible.
would-
So if somebody molded that, I deeply feel for them.
I wouldn't admit to that being my mold.
No.
Jeremiah, can we get a demonstration of the mustache choker there? Beautiful. Well, you want to go more looking at the camera. There you go, facing. See, the mustache shows up beautifully.
Yeah, I've been behind the production.
Oh, okay.
I'm not used to being in front of the camera.
Fair
I
enough.
tell people I don't do.
Stare right in the camera for me and just smoke.
Yeah, so another thing
mustache.
that I
Beautiful,
love to do
beautiful.
in
I like
the
that.
industry is I love to network really cool products and really cool people. And this is one of the first products I saw it when I came to this island.
It is a beautiful talk. It is like I am at the masquerade ball. You do not know I am, and we meet and our eyes meet. I love it. Yes.
Yeah, so this is by Gibson Glassworks.
Speaking of cool people, you've met?
Gibson, I like you.
Is that from someone from Gibson's?
Please, monsieur.
Sunshine Coast?
Gibson's here on, yes, I believe he is on Quadra Island.
Okay, so that's his name, Gibson.
Gibson Glass, yeah.
Gibson Glass.
Gibson Glass.
On Instagram, is that right? Or
Like
Yeah.
Gibson, like the bushwhackers. What were they called? The beachcombers.
The bushwhackers were those like WWE guys. Sorry. So I've just been informed.
You're screaming at us.
Turn down your headphones.
See, this is what happens to production guys. They're in the background.
That's why I'm in the background. We now know why I'm in the background.
Pull your beautiful voice back just 3
Yeah,
inches.
just
About the
okay.
size of that
There you go.
glass penis.
He's got a glass penis.
He's gonna rap now.
I can't rap. I've been wrapped up by the smoke that swirled in my head. Curls fall down against the pillow of the bed.
This is
I
the-
made love to that sweet girl, and then I blasted down to 1620. It was Monday. I smoked a joint, and we did podcasts that anointed the new knowledge, the new future, that sunshine rising up in the great awakenings.
Mellow. We're all mellow. See, this is what you did to the boys here today. We're all gone crazy. We're having fun.
What's wrong with that?
Well, it's about time we had
It's
some
about
fun.
time, right?
Yeah.
It's about time. It's about time. It's because I brought the magic, the mellow magic.
What is that?
So I've started to do
Is that
some.
little bunny?
It's
put
a
it- put it
unicorn.
right-
Oh, unicorn.
Put it right
Okay,
up to
sorry.
the
Yeah, let's
thing,
get right
please.
up to the camera. It should focus in. Oh, beautiful. Oh,
Is that a
there we
unicorn?
go. Look at that. Oh, that's a little buds. A bud unicorn.
Unicorn.
Oh, I'm going to send that to Justin Trudeau. That's beautiful.
Trudeau would like that on his car, on the little dash of his car, probably.
She is-
So instead of a Rolls Royce thing,
Yeah, that's
we
right.
put that. Trudeau would have that on his. Yeah.
That'd be good. You could
Yeah.
replace it. I like that.
Yes, and I crafted that fully from cannabis. The actual feet itself are made from a stalk, and eventually she will get a tail as well, where I peel the stalk apart and color it different colors for the little magic effect.
Wow.
Yeah, so
What do you think, Jeremiah?
I think that mountain, that misty mountain, pink kush, take me back down to where I'm from. Take me home. Take me down that dirt highway.
delicious.
So high, Rastafari, chant at the sky. Find I in the sunshine, down under the cedar tree, spin hammers me,
Apparently I should smoke
we
the rest.
warriors.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Apparently, I should smoke the rest.
You think Jeremiah is at the right level here?
He's at the
He's at
right
the perfect vibration. I think
the
we'll just keep him
perfect
going.
Yeah.
Jeremiah in Zion.
Zion, Zion, find I down by the stream side. We spin hammers together. And I don't try to be clever. I spin hammer down by the street. Sweet, sweet, sweet stream side. Hey, Kenny Himes, my brother, we going far and deep on this pink misty mountain pink kush. I can't even trip over my words fast enough. I'm probably again too close to the microphone. But I want you to take it home. And give us that announcement. Bless this beautiful spirit who's come to the podcast today to share her products. Let's take that conversation.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we want to bless this beautiful spirit that has brought her indigenous ways, her artistic magic to our podcast. What a great thing you've done. I've never seen him like this before. He is the happiest I've seen him ever.
You're welcome.
No, thank you. So let's talk about something else. Where do you get your materials from?
So
Do you shop around to do that?
that is the wonderful thing that currently I have been working with my Indigenous friends.
Yes.
And I have been repurposing what I like to call floor weed. So
Floor weed?
Yeah. So
How does that work?
Well, you know, we all have that time where there's always some flower that something happens to that can't be consumed or for some reason. So I like to call it recycling. So any buds that have been left out, any buds that just wouldn't be consumed anymore. I work with my Indigenous friends. I work with a bunch of ACMPR growers, and I'm able to...
I'm sorry, what kind of growers?
ACMPR.
What does that stand for?
Access...
Not a problem. Not a
Yeah, this is the medicinal cannabis growing.
Okay, the medicinal
I never
growers.
got to
Right.
be that cool yet, but...
Medicinal cannabis, Rastafari, like that sweet spliff. Down by the stream side, the hippie goddess grows your sweet herb in the sunshine. Now that's the stuff I want to smoke.
Yes.
I want whatever. I want whatever he's smoking.
Yeah, well...
Okay, let me pass that shit over then, brother.
I'm gonna
Reach
take mine.
on
He forgot to pass it. Or
I'm gonna do mine anally if that's okay.
I'm gonna leave.
We get the super.
I just left that conversation. Let me pass that over. Let me get him out of this stupor and into his pooper.
Oh yeah.
I'd like my mustache toker back. First.
There you go. All right. So Mello, did you ever work before you became doing this? I mean, actually work at a dead-end day job?
Absolutely.
And what kind of stuff were you doing before you hit upon this 3 years ago?
I did customer service for a long time.
And it's helped pay off a little bit here, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it may have.
Yeah.
And then I actually took the registered massage therapy program. So I'm actually trained. Graduated the registered massage therapy program.
Robin loves massages.
We all should love
He's always
massages.
trying to get one for me.
We all should love massages.
Mm-hmm.
So
You have strong hands, Ken.
So strong, Ken. Ken.
And you have a silky sweet neck, Robin.
oh boy.
Wow.
I should've kept the pink kush to myself.
Bum, 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 bum.
All right. So you worked in service, customer service. You worked in massage. Anything else?
Arts, crafts.
What was the one day that you put this together and said, I'm going for it. I'm going to make my first little bud trinket, or
Honestly,
was there a day that?
No, there wasn't really a day specifically that stood out in mind, or a day that I said I'm going to do this and I'm going to run with this.
Mm-hmm. Could you make like shatter mountains?
Actually, you know what? Maybe it was. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Little shattered castles or something? Or?
I've created a small, I guess, diorama of a grow op with a working light inside.
Come
of it. Yeah.
So if we go to your Instagram, what is your Instagram again?
So I have Melo Moments. It's Mel-O, so M-E-L-O, and Moments with a Z. And then I also have Zed, the Melo's Creations, which can be found through the Melo Moments.
So you're on
page as
Facebook
well.
and Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter.
So you don't get too screwed up. Melo with one L. Melo. There is shit flying off buildings out there, right? See the
The
installation?
storm has done come. We are sheltered. We're here at 1620podcast.com. We are sheltered from the storm. We are creating the new normal. The new normal in our lives, and we expand from here, take the message of cannabis across the nation, the message of the true power of its healing plant medicine. You know, if you're really in bad shape, I got to tell you, brother, check up that iboga. If you're really in bad shape, you know, probably if you're not in so bad shape, some mushrooms. If you're doing really well but you want to do better, let's hit those micro doses. And cannabis medicinally, it's on how you approach the smoking of the sacred herb. That's how we get it done here at 1620. Would you sign us out of here, Ken Hollywood Himes?
On one note, can I just add?
Yeah, please, let's talk about something you haven't talked yet, and then we'll, I think we're a little early yet, aren't we? We're like 20 minutes early?
Oh, no. I
We're
just
at,
wanted to say,
we're at about 38 minutes here.
Okay.
let's just
So-
remember to respect the people and be kind
Okay.
while we're at it.
Wow. So it is Melo, M-E-1-L, Melo Moments with a Z at the end on Facebook and Instagram. Please, we want to go off on a real good high, so to speak. Tell us a little bit more about your successes with the jewelry and in your own life, please, because your story is absolutely amazing, how you turned these health conditions that were killing you and you turned it around. So forget about all the flaky people out there that don't believe, but to this room and to the people on the 1620
I'm living
podcasts.com, yeah, you were not in a happy place.
No, I wasn't. My quality of life sucked, and I wasn't in a happy place. And it's not just the cannabis, it's not just the artwork, it's the healthy attitude, it's making healthy choices, making positive choices, and being positive. I've had a lot. I could sit here for hours and talk about the negative things or crap that has happened in my life, and that's not going to benefit anyone. It's going to create a poison, and it's going to create a toxicity.
You've been talking to Kit Warren, the commish, haven't
And
you?
I broke out. No,
He doesn't allow
we
that.
do,
He doesn't
but
allow that bullshit either
no.
around here. That's
Great awakenings.
No,
Great
yeah.
awakenings. Great awakenings, brothers and
yeah.
sisters.
And just and being positive.
which is a
and-
term that they use around here when you show up every morning.
Well,
Just
they
so
should.
for the rest of us that don't know.
Every time you rise up, whether it's in the morning or you just took a nap, or it's been storming like it is and you stayed in the studio with your friends and you bust words of healing, of joy and happiness out into the universe, both digital and real, we love you.
And can you remind us of the dates of the Indigenous Cannabis Cup coming up again in and what the location is, please?
So it's May 29th to June 1st
May
in
29th.
Tyendinaga, Mohawk territory.
Which is how many miles to the nearest biggest town?
It's just outside of Belleville, Ontario.
Okay, sure.
So between Belleville and Kingston, Ontario, right on the 401.
Tragically hip town.
yeah.
Don Cherry Town.
Yeah, that's where I came from.
Right on.
And is there any website for that at all, or Facebook for those?
Currently, there is an Instagram account and a Facebook, but there is a little bit of miscommunication right now because our brothers and sisters are in a solidarity stance right now,
Right.
and standing up for what they
They
believe in.
have their minds on different things at the
So
moment, but
it's
that's
one
fine.
thing I'm actually eager to go home and help with. So you can
Okay.
definitely, any questions can come through the Indigenous Cannabis Cup on Instagram.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. It was a pleasure.
Well, thank you very much for everyone that watched and listened to the 1620podcast.com, the High Noon Show with Robin Unger. Jeremiah Armstrong, the commish, studio boy today for one day. Having to be a normal human being, working it.
Working, man.
I'm Kenny Himes, Hollywood. sports guy, entertainment guy, not shy. And we had Melo on the show, and you have such a beautiful voice. Thank you so much. And you're so calm, and you're a really good leader to the natives and to Whitey, right?
Now.
Thank you. What?
I am just a whitey.
Yeah.
I'm just a little white girl. I
you-
just stand behind what they believe in
Yeah.
and how they've accepted me and the teachings and the learnings and the positivity that I get behind them.
Wow.
But I am just a little white girl at the end of the day that
Well,
supports my Indigenous
Well,
friends.
we're starting to go look back at the planet and the land and the waters and all this stuff, and looking at like we might be screwing it up and poisoning ourselves.
might
This
be.
is global poison, right?
Can I share something from an English friend? I think I met with maybe through my brother actually back in one of his sort of satellite friends, and I asked him where he was, like what he was, and he's like, I'm Indigenous, but in front of me was this large, sort of goofy, long, only as an Englishman can be long, dude who could have been Prince Charles' half-brother. And I just was like shocked. How could you be Indigenous? You don't have brown skin. He goes, I grew up in Zimbabwe. No matter where I go, I am part of whoever. I grew up, my friends were Africans, and I grew up next to them. And so everywhere I go, I'm Indigenous. I'm not a part of this Commonwealth system because I'm a Canadian, but I'm Indigenous. And I think that if we care for Mother Nature and we care for the planet we live on and we care for that, we have to think of ourselves as Indigenous, at least to the planet as a whole. Anyways, bless.
Once again, you've been listening and watching the 1620 podcast from beautiful downtown Victoria. Have yourselves a wonderful day, a wonderful week, a wonderful life, a wonderful year. Carry on, everybody. Thank you so much for watching and listening to 1620podcasts.com here in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia.
Thank you to those reading the transcript as well. Our readers out there.
Thank you.